Hello students, welcome to the course on analog and digital communication systems. And the course code is EC501. This is the course for BTech 5th semester EC students. Myself, Dr. Shurojit Boshak, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. Today, we are starting the lecture number 4 from the fourth module, Signal Vector Representation. And the topic is Signal Space Analysis. The lesson objective of this topic is analyze signal vector representation by creating signal constellation. And this topic is mapped with CO number 4. So let us start lecture number 4 from the signal space analysis. In the last class, we proved that a continuous AWGN channel into a vectored channel, and correspondingly we have been seen that the vectored channel is basically a stochastic process, or its behavior is a random due to additive noise. So obviously we have to determine the statistical nature of the correlator output. Accordingly, we have find out the mean and also determine the variance. And as the random variable is a Gaussian process, we have also defined its PDF by using the mean and variance. The red structure, this expression is actually the PDF, or it is a exponential distribution where the mean value was variance is n0 by 2 and mean value we have determined, which is Sij. So using this mean and variance, we have calculated the PDF function, PDF of AWGN channel. Now today let us start from likelihood function. The probability density function, that is Fx, x conditional mi, where I is equal to 1 to m, are the very characterization of an AWGN channel. Their derivation leads to a functional dependence on the observation vector x, given the transmitted message symbol mi. However, at the receiver, we have the exact opposite situation. We are given the observation vector x, and the requirement is to estimate the message symbol mi that is responsible for generating x. To emphasize this viewpoint, we introduce the idea of a likelihood function, which is denoted as capital L mi, which is Fx, x conditional mi. It is important, however, to recognize that although the LMI and the PDF have exactly the same mathematical form, but their individual meaning are different. Therefore, it is more convenient to work with the log likelihood function, just taking the log of the conditional PDF function. The log likelihood function, just it is a L, small l mi, just taking the log of LMI, both sides taking the log. So the log likelihood function bear a one-to-one relationship to the likelihood function for basically for two reasons. One is probability density function is always non-negative, and the second is the logarithmic function is a monotonically increasing function of its argument. Therefore, the log likelihood function for an AWGN channel is LMI equal to minus 1 by N0 sum of j equal to 1 to n xj minus Sij whole square, where I is equal to 1 to m. Just taking the log term of the earlier PDF expression and ignoring the constant term, that is minus n by 2 log pi by n0, as it bears no relation to the message symbol mi. So this is the likelihood function. Now I am going to discuss coherent detection of signals in presence of noise. That is how a signal is detected in presence of noise. And this theorem, or this basically called maximum likelihood decoding. So I am going to discuss on that matter, maximum likelihood decoding. Suppose that in each time slot of duration t seconds, one of the m possible signals S1t, S2t, SMT is transmitted with equal probability, say 1 by m. For geometric signal representation, the signal SIT, or I equal to 1 to m, applied to a bank of correlators with a common input and supplied with an appropriate set of n orthonormal basis functions. The resulted correlator outputs define the signal vector Si. We may represent SIT by a point in a Euclidean space of dimension n less than equal to m. We refer this point as transmitted signal point or message point. The set of message points corresponding to set of transmitted signals, say SIT or I equal to 1 to m, is called signal constellation. So these few terminologies are very important: signal vector, message point or signal point, and signal constellation. Based on the observation vector x, we may represent the received signal xt by a point in the same Euclidean space used to represent the transmitted signal. We refer to the second point as receive signal point. The receive signal point wanders about the message point in a completely random fashion, in the sense that it may lie anywhere inside a Gaussian distributed cloud centered on the message point. And this is illustrated in the figure A. For the case of a three-dimensional signal space, phi 1, phi 2, and phi 3, for a particular realization of the noise vector W, the relationship between the observation vector and the signal vector Si is illustrated in figure B. See, this is the signal vector Si. This is the message point where noise is added. Then this is the receive signal point and observation vector X. So we are now ready to state the signal detection problem. We are now ready to state the signal detection problem. Given the observation vector X, perform a mapping from X to an estimate M cap. M cap is the estimate of Mi. So of the transmitted symbol Mi in a way that it would minimize the probability of error in the decision making. So correct decision is M cap equal to Mi if Mi is transmitted. Therefore, the probability of error in this decision is denoted by PE Mi given that observation vector X, which is equal to probability of Mi not sent, which is basically a conditional probability, Mi not sent, provided that observation vector X is transmitted. So that is basically 1 minus probability of Mi sent, which is conditional of X. The decision making criteria is to minimize the probability of error. So we have to find out the optimum decision rule. What is the optimum decision rule? Set M cap equal to Mi if Mi sent conditional X greater than or is equal to Mk sent conditional X for all K belongs to Ki. Where K equal to 1 to up to M. This decision rule is referred as maximum posteriori probability, or it is called as abbreviated as MAP rule. Using Bayes rule, this expression and for the moment, ignoring possible bias in the decision making process, we may restate the map rule as follows. Set m cap equal to mi if pk, that is probability, into PDF, conditional PDF, divided by fxx is maximum for k equal to I, where pk is the priori probability of transmitting symbol mk and pk equal to pi when all source symbols transmitted with equal probability. And this term fxx conditional mk is basically a conditional PDF of random variable or random observation vector x given the transmission of symbol mk, and the denominator term, that is fxx, is the unconditional for PDF of x. Therefore, the denominator term is independent of the transmitted symbol, and the conditional probability density function, that is fx mk, bears a 1-to-1 relationship to the log likelihood function. Accordingly, we may restate the decision rule in terms of log likelihood, that is LMK, as follows. Set m cap equal to mi if LMK is maximum for k equal to I. So this decision rule is referred as maximum likelihood rule, and the device for its implementation is referred as maximum likelihood decoder. Now it is useful to have a graphical representation of the maximum likelihood decision rule. Let J denote n-dimensional space of all possible observation vector. We refer to this space is observation space. That is called observation space. We have assumed that the decision rule must say m cap equal to mi. So the total observation space Z is correspondingly partitioned into m decision regions denoted as Z1, Z2, Z3 up to Zm. Therefore, accordingly, we may state that the decision rule is observation vector x lies in region Zi if LMK is maximum for k equal to I. Now from the log likelihood function, this LMK attain its maximum value when the summation term in the PDF is minimized by choice of k equal to I. And accordingly, we may formulate the maximum likelihood decision rule for an AWGN channel is observation vector x lies in region Zi if the summation term is z equal to 1 to n xj minus skj square is minimum for k equal to I. We note from our earlier expression that sum of j equal to 1 to n xj minus skj square equal to norm. It is the Euclidean space squared length or x minus sk square. That is the Euclidean distance. X minus sk is the Euclidean distance between the receive signal point and the message point, which is represented by x and sk. And accordingly, we may restate the new decision rule as observation vector x lies in region Zi if the Euclidean distance x minus sk, that is the norm of x minus sk, is minimum for k equal to I. And this states the maximum likelihood decision rule is simply to choose the message point closest to the receive signal point and which is intuitively satisfying. Therefore, the need for squares in the decision rule of this equation is avoided by recognizing that the square term, that is sum of j equal to 1 to n xj minus skj whole square equal to sum of xj square. That is the that portion is comes from the PDF. Xj square minus 2 sum of j equal to 1 to n xj skj plus j equal to 1 to n skj square. So the first term actually independent of the index k. The second term is the inner product of the observation vector x and the signal vector sk. And the third summation term actually represents the energy of the signal skt and which is denoted as ek. Accordingly, the new decision rule is as follows. Observation vector x lies in region Zi if, in the earlier case, this term should be minimized. So if we minus sign is common, so sum of xj skj minus half of the energy should be maximized or is maximum for k equal to I. Then the observation vector x lies in region Zi. So for an AWGN channel, the decision region are regions of the n-dimensional observation space Z bounded by linear boundaries. Say here, this figure illustrates the partition of the observation space into two decision regions for the case when n equal to 2 and m equal to 4. And it is assumed that the m transmitted symbols are equiprobable or equally likely. And the basis functions are phi 1 and phi 2 because n equal to 2, and 4 symbols, message symbols are present. Say here message point 1, message point 2, message point 3, and message point 4. Similarly, that we can divide it. 4 message symbols are present. So we divide it into 4 regions. These are the regions. This is the first region, Z1. This is Z2, second region. This region is Z3, and this region is Z4. And accordingly, the point is root over E 0, 0 root over E, 0 root minus root over E comma 0, this point, and this point is 0 comma minus root over E. So these are the decision regions. Actually, these are the very fundamentals, and from that point you can construct the constellation diagram for any digital modulation techniques, and from where you can determine easily the probability of error. That is why this chapter is very much important for the communication engineers. Next is I want to prove that the equivalence of correlation and match filter receiver. That means the function of match filter is exactly identical with the function of correlator circuit. So to prove this, first I introduce a correlator receiver or detector part of the receiver. It consists of a bank of M product integrator, or it is called a product integrator. It is called a correlator circuit. That means a product or multiplier followed by a integrator, and supplied with a corresponding set of coherent orthonormal basis functions, say phi 1t, phi 2t, phi nt, that generated locally. And the second part of the receiver, which is called signal transmission decoder, and it is implemented in the form of a maximum likelihood decoder that operates on the observation vector x to produce an estimate m cap of the transmitted symbol mi, where I equal to 1 to m. The n elements of the observation vector x are first multiplied by the corresponding n elements of each of the m message signal vectors, say S1, S2 up to Sm, and the resulting products are successfully assumed or summed in accumulator to form the corresponding set of inner products. The inner products are corrected for the fact that the transmitted signal energies may be unequal. And finally, the largest of the resulting set of numbers is selected, and an appropriate decision on the transmitted message is made. To demonstrate the equivalence of a correlator and a match filter, consider a linear time invariant filter with impulse response Hjt, with the received signal xt used as a filter input the resulting filter output yjt is minus infinity to plus infinity integration of minus infinity to plus infinity x tau hj t minus tau d tau. Now from the definition of a match filter, hj tau or hjt of a linear time invariant filter matched to an input signal phi jt is a time reversed and delayed version of the input signal phi jt. So it is a time reverse and it is a delayed version. So hjt equal to phi j t minus t, capital T minus small t. Therefore, the resulting filter output is yjt equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x tau phi j t minus capital T minus small t plus tau d tau. Now sampling at t equal to capital T, and correspondingly we get yj t equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x tau phi j tau d tau. But by definition we know that phi j tau is 0 outside the interval 0 to capital T. Therefore, we find that yjt is an actual fact that jth correlator output xj produced by the received signal xt, or yjt equal to 0 to t x tau phi j tau d tau. Accordingly, the detector part of the optimum receiver may also be implemented using a bank of match filter as shown in the figure. And it is important to note that the output of each correlator is equivalent to the output of a corresponding matched filter as shown in figure this 7, when the output is sampled at t equal to capital T. Therefore, we can prove that the function of a match filter is identical with the function of a correlator circuit. Now, the main part, that is calculation of probability of error. Suppose that the observation space Z is partitioned, as we already shown, in accordance with the maximum likelihood decision rule, into a set of M regions, say Zi, which belongs to 1 to M. And suppose that symbol Mi is transmitted and observation vector X is received. Again, I am repeating, suppose that symbol Mi, or it is equivalently say signal vector Si, is transmitted and an observation vector X is received. Then an error occurs whenever the received signal point represented by X does not fall inside region Zi associated with the message point represented by Si. Therefore, averaging over all possible transmitted symbols, we say that the average probability of symbol error, say PE, is, this is the probability of symbol error, say probability of X does not lie in Zi. It is a conditional probability. So conditional that Mi is sent, and it is added for all symbols from I equal to 1 to M, and it is averaged, which is Pi equal to 1 by M, say in the next. So Pi equal to 1 by M, as they are equiprobable, and summation over I equal to M, that probability of X does not lie in Zi given that Mi is transmitted. Or equivalently, we can say that it is 1 minus 1 by M, I equal to 1 to M, probability of X lies in Zi, conditional that Mi is sent. Therefore, this expression can be expressed as in terms of the likelihood function as probability of error equal to 1 minus 1 by M, summation over I equal to M, and it is integration of the, for the PDF. Actually, it is the integration of PDF over the dx, and the limit is Zi fx x conditional Mi, that is the PDF. So this is the probability of error for an n-dimensional observation vector. And the integral in this equation, this integral part is obviously an n-dimensional. So that's all about the signal space analysis. Now I am showing you a problem regarding signal space analysis. It's a very popular problem and also very much important for your semester purpose. A pair of signals SIT and SKT have a common duration T. Show that the inner product of this pair of signals is given by 0 to T SIT SKT dt equal to SI transpose into SK, where SI and SK are the vector representations of SIT and SKT respectively. And as a follow-up to part A, also prove that integration of 0 to T SIT minus SKT whole square dt equal to norm of SI minus SK square, that is the Euclidean space. Norm of SI minus SK, that is called the Euclidean space. So first we solve the first part. So to prove the first part, say is integration of SI 0 to T SIT SKT dt. So we know that SIT is a linear combination of n orthonormal basis functions. Therefore, SIT can be represented as summation over j equal to 1 to n Sij phi jt, and similarly for SKT, summation over L equal to 1 to n SKL phi lt and dt. Therefore, just rearranging this expression, sum, summation over j equal to 1 to n, then summation over l equal to 1 to n, Sij, Skl, and then the integration term, that is 0 to t phi jt phi lt dt. Now, since phi jt form an orthonormal set, that means it should satisfy the two properties. One is normalized to have unit energy, and second is the orthogonality. So following these two properties, we can say that this term is 1. So integration over 0 to t sit skt dt equal to j equal to 1 to n, and this term is 1 when obviously j equal to l. So this term Sij into Skj, that means Si transpose into Sk. So the first part is proved, that is integration of 0 to t sit skt dt equal to Si transpose into Sk. Now go to the second part. That is the norm of Si minus Sk whole square. That is Si minus Sk transpose into Si minus Sk. Therefore, just multiply it. Si transpose into Si plus Sk transpose into Sk minus 2 Si transpose into Sk. So the first part is integration of 0 to t Si square t dt. Second term is again integration of 0 to t Sk square t dt. And the third term is the correlation of the two vector, that is Si t into Sk t dt. Therefore, it is 0 to t sit minus Sk t whole square. The second part is also proved. Okay. So this is all about signal space analysis. And believe me, this chapter is very much tough for UG students. And this chapter is toughest chapter in digital communication part. Okay. Hope for the best. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I am ending my session.